X has taken it a step further. Not only is X doing age verification, but X is doing age verification, which is a feature of a premium subscriber. So if you don't have a blue check mark, you can't even verify your age to continue using X. What if your way of using MasterCard and Visa is a debit card from your bank, but they go through MasterCard and Visa? But your bank doesn't go through American Express, so you can't get a bank card without using it. Like, there's so many ways you're locked into using these payment processors that all you can do is really voice your concern. So you just, backlash is all we got. Because other countries are changing stuff. There's a epidemic going on, boys. And it started with the hub. You know, it always starts. This is why I yelled about the collective shout thing, and everyone's like, so they want to remove games that have grape in them, that have, you know, that have forced sex acts and sexual assault and all of these things. You know, they want to keep people from living out those horrid fantasies in video games, even though murder is a horrid fantasy and you can live that one out in video games. But whatever, this one's bad. So they got all those games removed from Steam, and everybody rejoiced. Porn is bad. So they got age verification requirements for the hub. So now you have to show an ID to even use the hub, and everybody rejoiced. Well, that's where it started. All right, let me get this pulled up here. All right, so that's where it started. So it started with the hub needing age verification. Now, this has also happened in the States, but not every state. This has been on a state-by-state basis. My state is one of the ones that requires it. I think something like 20 or 30 states at this point require you to show a physical ID to access sites like the hub. But that's where it started. And then they took all those games down from Steam thanks to Collective Shout. Sucks that some games we just lose access to playing them because the hardware goes bad and you got to emulate it to play it because there's no way to play them on modern consoles. That's why I will never call it piracy unless it's actively like downloading a game that's currently for sale. I won't call it piracy. I call it preservation. Hacking games and shit is not piracy. It is preservation. Because as much as they love to scream about piracy, hurting their sales and blah, 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 even though there has been absolutely no studies that support that, there's been studies that support the opposite, actually. 90%, like 9 out of 10 people who download pirated games and are playing pirated games, they're playing games that are no longer for sale. They're playing games that have been shut down, pulled from the marketplace, and the only way to get them, they have to resort to piracy, quote unquote piracy, to get this game that's been taken from them. So when you're getting something back that was taken from you, I don't consider it piracy, I consider it preservation. But this is how it started. It started with their Online Safety Act and age verification for adult stuff, and everybody cheered. They took down those nasty adult games from Steam, and everybody cheered. But then it started coming for your other platforms. Here we go. Due to local laws, we are temporarily restricting access to this content until X determines your age. So X has taken it a step further. Not only is X doing age verification, but X is doing age verification, which is a feature of a premium subscriber. So if you don't have a blue check mark, you can't even verify your age to continue using X in Europe. And so it starts in Europe, but it starts migrating its way over to the US. Because again, if it happens in Europe, then it tends to affect other countries. It's going to come over here because these companies are lazy and they're not going to make a separate version of their website just for one country. They're just going to make it across the board. Here we go. Spotify's on board. My age tech shows I'm not old enough to use Spotify. You cannot use Spotify if you don't meet the minimum age requirements for the market you're in. If you cannot confirm you're old enough to use Spotify, your account will be deactivated and eventually deleted. My account was deactivated. What should I do? Government issue ID within 90 days in order to keep your Spotify account. Again, this one's only in the EU. but don't be surprised when it comes to the U.S. What is coming to the U.S.? Here you go. YouTube will start asking for ID in the U.S. starting August 13th. So that's in like 2 weeks. It's like 2-3 weeks from now. You're going to have ID to use YouTube in the United States. So there are no laws about this kind of content needing an ID in the United States. It's only for adult stuff. YouTube doesn't allow adult content anyway. But in the States, they're going to go ahead and turn on that age verification thing simply because Europe demanded they do it. And YouTube's not making a separate version of YouTube just for Europe. So they're just going to make it across the board. It's just going to be a new platform policy change. Expanding protections to more teens starting August 13th will extend teen protections to U.S. users we now estimate to be under 18. Protections include enabling digital well-being tools, showing only non-personalized ads, and more. Yeah, so you will have to... Wait, is there another picture to go with that? No, that's it. So you will have to show your ID on YouTube, Spotify, X.com, and you can bet others will follow. These are already the big name players that tell you that you have to show your government ID to use their platform in a country that doesn't have the laws that require that. And all because the EU required it, they're just going to make it a standard across the board, and other countries are going to have to follow suit because of what the EU did, which is why Stop Killing Games is so important. I know people in the US don't think it'll affect them. It will. This is what happens when shit gets passed in the EU. It does affect other countries. So if we get Stop Killing Games tacked onto that bill in the EU, if all you EU guys out there step up and fight the good fight for us and make it so that they can't disable their games, they can't just remove them, they have to, pass on that server ownership to the users to give us the tools we need to continue running the game ourselves. If they don't do that, then they can't make the game. And if they can't make the game in Europe, if they're already having to, they aren't going to make a special version of the game for the rest of the world. They're not going to, if adding those tools as part of the development process, then they'll just give those tools to US users, to other users. Not to mention, even if it's only in the EU, even if, which it won't be, because what they'll do is they'll pass those tools on to US users and other users, other countries, and they'll do it as like, we care about the gamers thing. So they'll spin it into a PR thing to make it sound like they're doing that for you voluntarily, which technically is true, but not really. But they'll make it sound like they care about the gamers again. But even if they didn't do that, even if they were just total pricks and decided they were going to shut down every other country in the world except for the EU when they shut down one of these games, the EU will still be given the tools to make those games playable for everybody else, and everybody else can just get online and download the EU version. So it's not like you won't have access to games. If we get it passed in the EU, it affects the rest of the world. This is proof that when shit passes in the EU, it affects the rest of the world. So that's just a quick thing I was bringing up because I'm seeing age verification trending on Twitter. X. I wanted to look over it to see what it meant. And yeah, it affected. I was shocked to see it affected YouTube. Just scrolling through. Which some people are fighting back. So a couple things are happening here as long as we're talking about online stuff and people fighting back. 4chan users appear to be launching a phone calling campaign this weekend against Collective Shout called Operation Fight Fire with Fire. So all these customers are calling to complain and flood their phone lines and I guess threaten to, switch over to American Express or some other payment processor. And apparently it is working because she says MasterCard is definitely aware of the Collective Shout situation. She claims she called the company to lodge a complaint about it, and the person on the other phone line immediately asked if it was about their adult content policy. Called MasterCard, said I wanted to lodge a complaint. Woman on the other line immediately asked if it was about their adult content policy. They're definitely getting slammed. So the phone call campaign may or may not work, but it definitely got their attention, so they know there's backlash from it. I don't know how well it'll actually affect their business, but like these are the things that you have to do to fight back. I mean, usually I say vote with your wallet, but like this is one of those cases where they kind of control your life and you can't really vote with your wallet. How do you vote with your wallet against MasterCard and Visa, against a payment processor? I mean, you might not have the credit to get an American Express card. What if your way of using MasterCard and Visa is a debit card from your bank, but they go through MasterCard and Visa? But your bank doesn't go through American Express, so you can't get a bank card without using it. Like there's so many ways you're locked into using these payment processors that all you can do is really voice your concern. So you just, backlash is all we got. On to other quick Twitter news while we're going over stuff. YouTube has announced the official end of the snark era. So it looks like Ethan's lawsuit and all this backlash against snark is paying off. Once upon a time, through past leadership, I think you mean past. Once upon a time, through past leadership, the most definitely behaved as a snark sub. Okay, that's YouTube drama subreddit. Once upon a time, through past leadership, the sub most definitely behaved as a snark sub. We have taken firmer stances to pull away from our past image and to be placed where people can have proper discourse. Seen the harm snark done, Save a Fox being a prime example. Our most popular post right now is pure snark. No longer allowing posts like this on the sub. So what's the post that was in question? Because, yes, I agree with them. I stopped using YouTube drama subreddit as a source of drama a long time ago because, my God, you go into the comments of that section and it is all fucking snark users. It sounds like Hassan's chat, if not worse. People were just calling out and like sometimes calling for people to be doxxed and stuff over nothing. Like it was just hate thread after hate thread. Snark discourse has only ever brought conflict to the sub. People insult each other over nothing. People have gotten death threats. People get reported for suicidal ideation just because they disagree. There's been ableism, racism, prejudice, and of all kinds around these topics. Ultimately, snark behavior never allows any proper discussion. Right, it's a stonewall to proper discussion. That's what snark is there to do. It's there to stonewall the discussion, to derail, and to just inflame people. It's hate. We have had to ban 2 creators just because the people who come to the sub cannot behave when discussing them. At its core, snark is not very different from Kiwi Farms at this stage with the harm it has done to content creators. We have seen the harm snark has done as well. Save a Fox being a prime example. Our most popular post right now is pure snark, and it's suspended actual important events because who was following who on Instagram. Going forward, we will no longer be allowing posts like this on the sub. It provided no context, no criticism, and it didn't prove anything either. This may prove unpopular, but it is something we feel strongly for the health of this sub. God, they wear this stuff. It is something we feel strongly of for the health of this sub and the people on it to remove ourselves. You can check the rule in the sidebar. If you want a YouTube snark sub, then go make one. This one isn't it. Have a good one. So Asmongold responds on the side here too. The only reason this is happening is because Ethan is suing/doxing the H3 Snark mods, and the people who made this post are afraid of the same thing happening to them, which is true. This is why lawsuits are important. Hey, if they do it out of fear of getting legal action, whatever the reason they have for doing the right thing, the end result is the same. They did the right thing. Mission accomplished. Doing the right thing for the wrong reason is still doing the right thing. Subreddits and communities like this love to talk about accountability until it happens to them. True. True. That's one of the first things that they scream is, when is he going to take accountability? I'm like, accountability for what? There was one where they were screaming about accountability for someone defending themselves, and I was like, accountability for what? What did he do? And they can never tell you. These people just make shit up. Legal Mindset replies, they are hearing about the discovery related to the Klein cases and trembling in fear. Oh no, kids, snark is over. Gee, I wonder what brought this on. Yeah, a bunch of people calling it a W and praising Ethan. Yeah, it's the snark subs. Like, these snark-brained people are out of their fucking minds, and it permeates every comment section, and it derails everything. Like the latest video I put up on Vosh and his allegations. The very first comment is from clearly a snark-brained person, because they go, oh, I saw Ethan, so I'm already out. And I was like, okay, then why even leave the comment? Like, you people are snark-brained that you can't even, like, see his image on a screen without needing to anger comment to just, oh, Ethan's face, I better start typing. Ethan! God. The video wasn't even about Ethan. It was about Vosh. I show a little bit of an Ethan clip because that's where the news broke, and then we'd spend the rest of the time talking about making fun of Vosh, which, by the way, deserved. The guy wants to fuck women as a horse, and he hits on minors. Fuck him. But no, we can't even criticize other people if Ethan's face is on the screen. It's fucking retarded. It's so fucking retarded. What's up, Jacob? Thank you for the dono, by the way. Sorry, I was in the middle of a rant there, so I do appreciate that. All right. Anywho. That ends that segment. I just wanted to get caught up on what's going on. Oh, what is going on with age verification, and how we can actually get W's, how things affect things, and the snark subs getting shut down. Or YouTube drama was never a snark sub. It was just invaded by snarkers, and I'm glad that they're finally addressing it.